I just can't do it.
No, I get it. So, but Ricky, if like you're ever bored, because all I do is read your news stories at the top.
Gotcha.
Basically, I just read Ricky's stuff. Hey, everybody! Happy
whatever day it is. It's a day.
It's Monday. It's talk like Tom Brady day.
No.
Talk like Gronk.
Oh, I would talk like Gronk.
Can he put 7 words together in a sentence?
I don't know. I said to Brian last night, I said, he looks dumb as a box of rocks, but he looks like he would be fun to hang out with.
Yeah,
so
exactly. He's out like an 8.5-year-old all the time. He's like a 7-foot 8.5-year-old.
Like I would be okay just hanging out with him, but he looks dumb as a box of rocks.
Did you see that he got to ride Rise this morning? Like
Did he?
I guess I don't think he has kids, but he was in there with a kid, like shooting. They were in that big room, with the stormtroopers. And they were like doing a lightsaber battle. Of course, and he was on a big float. They did the commercial and stuff.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, dude, he looks like he'd be a lot of fun to hang out with. I'm just saying, like he looks dumb.
And then he would never remember, like probably 10 minutes later. I think he's been hit in the head a couple times. I think
a few.
The other night we were watching the hockey game, and I told Mallory, I'm like, God, dude, just got his bell wrong, and she's like, "What's that mean?" I'm like, "How are you in middle school not knowing what bell is? It's fucking figurative language." He got smoked. Okay, let's see here. Okay, got that. Oh yeah, no Thursday show, so this will be 1848 and 1849, and we're gonna do Is This Romantic second. So if you have stew on that,
is this romantic?
I'm gonna pull them from the Patreon Discord server, but if you have one, we'll sneak it into. So if you're watching live, we can do that. There's a couple on Twitter.
Oh, the romance. By the way, that thing you tweeted at me yesterday, so wrong.
I learned how to do a meme. I was trying to
wrong, Mike Roman. I laughed my butt off, though.
I didn't see it.
Okay, did you watch the halftime show at the Super Bowl last night? Okay, so it's this guy.
It's The Weeknd.
Okay, he's The Weeknd, which I thought The Weeknd was a band, but I found out.
No, it's a guy.
Yeah. Like I do know who he is.
So he all of a sudden disappears, and he's in this fun house or something. It's
Dude, if this doesn't turn into a Halloween Horror Nights house, I don't know what will. Just saying.
And so immediately this meme takes over Twitter. It just shows him like he's like running around this fun house like in a maze trying to find his way out. And so everybody starts tweeting, of course, like, this is me at Epcot trying to find my way around the construction walls and all these things. And like, this is me trying to find Kansas in the AP top 25 this week. All the Mizzou fans, because they're not ranked. So I put, this is me trying to follow Ricky's logic on every Wednesday podcast where she's trying to answer a question.
I said that is so wrong, Mike Roman, but it's really legit funny. I'm not gonna lie, I laughed my butt off.
Mine is the one with me doing this and then like the math up here, like this.
With the cat, like where the person's like the two people are like pointing at the cat, and that's all like,
yes.
I understand that. What's that all like? Where'd that come from?
I think the ladies that are pointing are from.
It's a Real Housewives.
Yeah, the Real Housewives.
Okay, that's exactly why I have no
Hello.
Yes.
First of all, I could do. This is not something I talk about very often, but I could have a podcast on many of the Real Housewives franchises. Mike may be subject to that because I may be like, Mike, you have to produce this podcast.
I want to start a Love Boat rewatch, but go ahead.
All right, I could do that, but I do watch many of the Real Housewives shows.
I don't judge a lot of people. I might be judging you right now.
Oh, I don't care. I'm all about it. Like that's what I say. Like people are like, "Oh, you need to watch this show. It's so good." And I'm like, "Is it emotional?" They're like, "Yeah." I'm like, "No. That's not why I watch TV.
No,
I watch TV to be entertained."
Correct. Same.
And the Real Housewives shows are good.
Like, was the cat really sitting at a table and the lady was really arguing?
No, the cat was not.
The cat's not in the show. No, the cat is just a cat. They put the meme together to be a meme. Yes.
Everybody's mad at that cat, and that cat's looking all mad.
Yes.
Like, all happy, I guess.
I think cats always look mad, first of all.
I mean, my
cats are always baseline irritating.
My cat.
Ashley's saying that she would watch that show.
I'm just saying. Hold on. This cat. Hold on.
Like, yes, Courtney, it does make you feel good about yourself.
This cat-
Because here's
Cat,
what's
though. No, that's not the cat. It's like a.
That's
It's
not-
I know that's my cat.
Oh, no,
That's
that's not the
Ricky's
cat
cat.
in the meme.
No, but so the reason why I watch these shows is they make such bad decisions with their lives that every day you're like, oh,
Yeah.
I'm doing way better
doing
than
okay.
so and so.
Yeah. This is true. This is true.
Wait,
Yeah.
14th? Is this Sunday? Valentine's Day on Sunday?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Oh, dang.
You not doing
We're
it
not
this
doing a
Sunday?
live- we're not doing a live show on Valentine's Day. I'm not giving myself killed.
Your wife will kill you.
No, we're not doing that. So we'll skip that. This
And
week.
here's Daisy eating a cocktail weenie from last night.
Oh my.
I dropped it on
Well,
the floor.
that underbite really, struggle.
I dropped it on the floor, and she was like, "I will eat this, thank you." So I was like, "Well, that's gone."
That's too funny.
All right, let's do it. So yeah, so we'll just not do a show this Sunday night because it's Valentine's, and I am not going to get in trouble.
Yeah, good call, Mike. Good call.
Yeah, I'd
I thought it
say.
was Monday for some reason. I don't know. I haven't looked ahead that far.
Mm-mm.
Okay, here we
Nope,
go.
It is
Listen
Sunday.
up, Jones. Dun, dun. And I got a Dr. Mike to start the show. Here we go. Welcome to episode 1848 of the Be Our Guest Walt Disney World Trip Planning Podcast. I'm your host, Mike Rallman from BeOurGuestPodcast.com and one of the senior agents over at the Magic for Less Travel. Happy Wednesday to you. We hope that you are having a great week in the frozen tundra of the United States of America. In most places, if you're here in our country, it's cold in most places. It's chilly this week, and we're supposed to break some records here, 110-year-old records in the Midwest this coming weekend. So stay inside, listen to a podcast, sit by the fire, do what you got to do, watch YouTube videos and so forth. But take care of yourself, and we can dream about warmer days down at warmer destinations like Walt Disney World. So today, of course, we are going to answer your listener questions as we do each and every Wednesday. And joining me to do just that, we have Ricky from the mouseforless.com, who is freshly returned from raiding the Disney outlets in North Georgia, it looks like. What's up, Ricky?
Actually, it wasn't in North Georgia. It was down in Florida. I know Mike gives the outlets a bad rap, but I have to say, the last time I went to the outlet, I spent way more money than I should have and bought a lot of things that I didn't need. But one of them is the shirt that I'm wearing today, which is the Epcot Forever pass holder shirt. Which I'm gonna guess Epcot Forever's not coming back, because if they're selling the pass holder shirt at the outlets, doesn't mean good things for Epcot Forever. So that's my hot take for today. Epcot Forever not coming back.
And also hot take, Disney should never, ever again name anything forever, because
Correct.
Epcot Forever lasted a hot 7 minutes.
Exactly. Yes. So anyway, I spent about $100 at the outlets, but I got a lot of cool things. So I mean, it outweighed itself, and I could have spent way more than that. I just mean if I had bought it regular price for everything, yeah, it would have been a couple $100. So I'm okay with this.
There's a reason that stuff was at the outlet.
Yeah, because they're not bringing back Epcot Forever. I'm just saying.
Okay. Yeah, but make you feel better.
But-
All right, thanks for joining us. No, go ahead, Ricky.
No, I was gonna say, while it was busy, because Mike, I know that's one of your issues at the outlets are extremely busy.
Yeah, you're talking. Oh, I hate that place.
Yes,
Oh,
yes.
God. If I die and I go the wrong way after death, that's where I'll end up in the parking lot of that place. Oh.
Exactly. So because of COVID, they actually are limiting the number of people that are included and able to go inside the actual store. So that part's nice, Mike. It means you don't have a whole heck of a lot of people in the store with you. Then you don't feel like killing yourself because there's not jam-packed full. And they are doing a virtual wait list. So you can sign up for the wait list and then walk around the rest of the mall and then wait for your 2-hour time slot to come up, because it takes about 2 hours for yourself to get back into the outlets. So.
Wonderful. Yeah, my arch nemesis is there. The guy in the middle of the outdoor thoroughfare there, the little stand that's trying to sell me a Carnival cruise. I still want to get him out. He wouldn't let me go.
Sorry,
Mike. Drop him. I was about ready to commit a felony on that guy, because I'm like, dude, I do not want to go on a Carnival cruise. I just ran a marathon this morning. I'm exhausted, and there's nothing in that store. Never. Okay, we're moving on.
I read something in the store. I'm just saying.
Oh,
What
no,
is
there's
that
nothing.
worth of something in the store? So.
It was like the only thing in there was like cruise stuff from like a Med cruise. Like I don't go on Med cruises. I haven't been on one. I can't go rolling in with like a jacket from a Med cruise that I don't need when it's, what next. All right. Pam is joining us. She's the co-owner of the Magic for Less Travel. Pam Forrester. Pam, save me. I do not want to talk about outlets at Walt Disney.
No, I'm with you. And those people at that one in particular are aggressive.
They are.
Really,
Aggressive.
they know that cheer, like be aggressive, be aggressive. I'm just not fun. I don't like that either. I do not like that high pressured thing. Or how about the skincare people? There's nothing better than being a woman and having someone be like, would you like to try our skincare product? No. I
got attacked one time at the mall by the hair people, like the ones with the curling irons. Dude, they literally drug me over to their kiosk and like started doing my hair. And I'm like, no, you don't touch my hair. You don't touch me. And they just kept doing it. And I was like,
see, not good. Like
I didn't know who to report that to, but I should have reported it to somebody at the mall.
You're right. Well, next time I'm there, I'm going to report the person who's like, would you like to try a wrinkle cream? Because that is offensive.
Yes. It's offensive.
Like, where would I put that, dude?
I don't have wrinkles.
This dude had me booked in an inside cabin on a 3-night behind me.
Not okay. That's not okay either.
I'm old. Like I can't hang with the 3-night Bahamian spring break cruise on Carnival.
No.
I can't do it. Anyway, all right. So we are going to jump into your list of questions. Couple of housekeeping stuff, announcements here at the top of the show. This Sunday night, of course, last Sunday night, we did not have a live call-in show because of the Super Bowl. I'm also going to keep my marriage intact, so I'm going to call an audible on this one. Speaking of football, no call-in show this Sunday night because if you might look at the calendar, it is February 14th.
Mike might be smart.
That is correct. I might not be the most romantic guy in the world, but I know I'm not a dumb guy. So we're not going to, and I'm going to hopefully save you too, because if you tune into a live call-in Disney show on Valentine's evening, you might put yourself in jeopardy as long as me. So we're all going to keep each other safe this Valentine's Day. So no call-in shows. We're going to take the 2-week hiatus, but let me tell you this, we're going to come back the next week. So would that be the 21st?
Yes.
Okay, so the 21 is my lucky number, by the way. I didn't even think about this till right now. So we're coming back and the show is going to be slightly different when it comes back on February 21st. And I'll make that announcement on Friday. What's going to be a little bit different about that. So stay tuned for that. All right. Before we jump into today's show, Dr. Mike is in the house with one tip to keep you from being a basic Disney fan on your next Walt Disney World vacation. This one's sent in by listener Adam. The whole party doesn't need to stand in line at Pecos Bills. All 6 of you. No, just one. There you go. Enough said.
Especially if mobile ordering. Not going to lie. Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
All right. So let's get into the first question. Let's see. Alfred had a question here real quick. It was just, and this is again, Ricky, what do you think? It's kind of speculation. But he's asking, do you think Disney goes through with all the Epcot construction? Like what? They announced all this stuff, and of course they've scaled back things. Like, I mean, at this point we would have been into a Spaceship Earth refurb. They've pulled that back. Guardians is going forward because I think it had the momentum. But I mean, where do you see this going? Like, what's the outcome of what they're doing in Epcot at this point?
Yeah. So I definitely think they're pulling back on it. Like you said, they've absolutely pulled back on the Spaceship Earth thing. I think that's going to stay the way it is now. They have, from my understanding, they've pulled back on the festival center that they were going to build. I don't know if that's going to happen anymore. And it kind of looks like they are fixing the buildings that they started tearing down for Interventions. But, once this happened and the parks closed, they kind of stopped what they were doing there, and the buildings were still mostly up. So I don't know if because I don't think that was part of I think the whole plan was to take them down. So the fact that they're still kind of up tells me that they probably are keeping them and they're going to revamp them and redo it that way. Yeah, I don't know that we know what they're going to do with Epcot at this point. I know it's not going to look like what they announced, back at D23 a couple of years ago. So expect something different, and I will find out as time goes on, but it's not going to look the same as what, was announced at all. So
So what do you think, Pam? Because I think Ricky's onto something here, but I think, in the center of Epcot, obviously they've demolished Innoventions buildings, the old Mouse Gear building's gone, Club Cool, Fountain View, all that stuff it's a mess, even down to where the Art of Disney was. And I think that at this point, they really are going to have to demolish it all and rebuild that at least, but probably at a cheaper cost and maybe not as extravagant. But I think, where they cut back, if this was me, and I'm just kind of thinking logically, is like the Moana thing, like the experience with the experience with like the water cycle. That's something you could cut. And while you would like to have that, I think that's kind of like one of those wish we had, but we don't need. But I think, as Epcot moves forward in 2022 and moving forward, you got to have that center of Epcot in a place where people can gather. You have merchandise and dining opportunities. I just think that. And of course, Guardians and Ratatouille's done. But I mean, I don't know. What are your thoughts? I just think the center has to get finished.
I think that they'll do something there to, think about what that will look like. Will they have an opportunity to sort of reimagine their plans? I think so. I mean, I think absolutely they'll look at that. And I think it only makes sense to do that, to see, where they can put something different in, what it can look like. But I think one of the things that we always have to remember is some of the most creative ideas are born from a chance to, what seems like not a great opportunity, right? I mean, really and truly. But some of these great ideas come from having to look at something from a different perspective or to focus on what's really important to the guest. Although the Moana thing, I think, was something that was really interesting and a way to bring some characters in and things like that. For most guests, that is not going to be the highlight of their vacation. And they may be able to put something else in there that will be just as impactful or more impactful. And it just may not cost as much. But that whole presentation, when I saw it there at the Odyssey, I was just like, you know what I mean? Because there were just so many great things. But I think even before, COVID started, we started getting some announcements that things were going to change. And that's the nature of the beast.
Yeah, absolutely.
It just really is. It just is. They have an opportunity. They look at things differently. And then they do something else. So I think when people are like, why is Disney so secretive? Right here, my friends, is why Disney is so secretive. Because the moment that they say they're going to do something, even though it's years away, if they make a change to that, then that becomes a negative instead of a positive.
Absolutely. I think
it could be either. Right. It could be either at this point to see. So I'll look and see. I'll be anxious to see what Disney does with that space. But like you, Mike, I agree. In some way, shape, or form, Disney needs something there in that space. And I'll look to see what it's doing, what they're doing.
I just think for an aesthetic, think about it for the hardcore Disney fan and for the first time visitor, when you're walking into Epcot, I mean, you just have to have, like we had Fountain of Nations, like that was just, it felt like it was like, a thoroughfare. It was a heart of Epcot. You had Spaceship Earth with Fountain of Nations behind it. You need to have some kind of a gathering place in the center of your park. You need to have a central location. So I just think that, and again, even if they're not attractions, it's probably more enticing for Disney to build those things if it's dining locations or merchandise locations, because those are they generate revenue directly. Where attractions do kind of tangentially. But I mean, you got to have that, and it's just theme parks have a center to them. They have a heartbeat, and they got it right now. It's just that there's it's basically like if you had a person open with like open heart surgery, and they're ripped open right now, they eventually got to put that back together and close it up. It's a mess.
I think anything that will make them money at this point will be added back in. If they can get the opportunity to get some sort of funds from whatever they're building, they'll add that back in. But I think, like you said, the Moana thing, there's not really a monetary reason to build it. So at this point, now that doesn't mean in the future they won't. But at this point, I think they're going to build anything that can make them money. So
right, because
I can't fault them for that either. I mean,
I can't either, because I mean, the thing is, nobody is going to Walt Disney World for that. Like that, it enhances your day, But like people will go to ride the Guardians of the Galaxy roller coaster. You know what I'm saying? Like Central Florida or Floridians will go to check that coaster out to go to ride Ratatouille.
Yes.
But at the end of the day, like you're like, oh, that Moana thing was cool. You know, it's kind of like Living with the Land. I love, like, I would go to ride Living with the Land, but most people don't, right? You know, but if you ride it, you're like, oh man, it's pretty cool. Like I learned something. It's pretty neat. So anyway, all right, let's get on to the next question. This one's for Pam here. Let's see here. It is from Lisa. She says she's an emergency room nurse ready for some Disney magic. So thank you for being out there in the emergency room. Yes, I can't even.
For sure.
Holy cow. Okay, Lisa says, hey, Mike, thanks to you and the crew for your awesome podcast. My family of 4 are first timers thinking to go the week before Easter. The ticket and resort stay packages has 2 extra ticket days. That's at new discount. I had thought to do 1 park per day with a resort day in between. We will have 5-day passes now that there are free extra days on the resort package. And I'm wondering if we can use one of our park pass days to go to a water park. Can we use the park pass to go to Blizzard Beach? Adding a water park ticket option is another $74.55 a ticket. And as it is, we have one more park day on our tickets than originally planned. We were originally going to buy a 4-day ticket. Thanks for your help. Hope my question makes sense, Lisa. Basically what it is, I guess it sounds like they were going to go to 4 days of theme, like the regular, this Universal calls them the dry parks, right? The main 4 theme parks. And they have this extra day because they're paying for 3, but they're getting 5. That's a great deal also when you're getting the 5-day ticket. But Pam, I wish this would work out because Lisa deserves it. I mean, I wish we could like swing a deal for the first responders,
right?
People on the front lines, but unfortunately, I don't think this will work.
No, it doesn't. So to enter the water parks with the theme park tickets that you buy, you actually do have to add that water park and more tickets. So the one thing you may want to consider doing if you want to visit the water parks is just visiting them one day, just buying, a 1-day ticket. If that it is less than the $74 for to add that on, or
$69, I think.
Yes.
I think that's what it is, if I remember right. Yeah.
So it's not that much less, but it is. No. Or the other thing you can do is just, pick one of the parks to go to more than one day. You already have that bundled in as part of your package. And I think it's a great use of that. Remember, if you have added park hopping, of course, that actually gives you 2 more parks that you could visit a half day each. So consider that thing as well. Park hopping has really been working well. It's funny, every now and then I'm in a group and I'll see like people talking about like that they don't like it or whatnot, but there are always people who haven't been there and done it. I don't know. I haven't seen a lot of people who have experienced it say that they don't like park hopping. Now I can see the people who say I don't see a value in it or whatnot. And that's definitely, it doesn't, there's lots of stuff there. Some people have to park hop like me, and some people don't have to park hop. But yeah, I think that that's something you could consider too.
Lisa's family's first timers. So I say first timers are probably the people who need to park hop the least because, like you're kind of like everything's new, right? I mean, because, we go quite often. And so we're just like, oh man, I need to change of scenery. Like the sad thing is like, we want to go eat somewhere else, I'm at Magic Kingdom, had a lot of fun that day. But I'm like, yeah, I'd go for some Via Napoli tonight, something like that. It's like, it's just that, that's what I think. And I think we're spoiled because once you have it, it's hard to go back. It's like a veranda on a cruise. It's really hard to kind of, to take care of it. But yeah. And also one other thing I might offer, just kind of a second thing to think about, is maybe do your package and on your last night, change to a moderate or deluxe hotel for just one night as a room only. Maybe stay at Yacht or Beach Club and take care, go to Stormalong Bay, and you can enjoy the resort the entire day, go to an awesome pool. It's almost like a water park. Now it's going to be a little bit more than buying a water park ticket, but you're going to have the whole deluxe resort experience for one extra night at the end of the trip. I've done that a couple times and that's kind of sweet, but either way, you could just go to Blizzard Beach. It's a lot of fun. So that'd be fun. Man, I'm glad we're getting back to water parks and stuff. Like we are making progress. I read earlier today as we're recording, starting to look at maybe opening parts of California Adventure out on the West Coast. Well, that's something.
Yep.
And Universal opened its water park early this year.
Yeah.
There was so much demand for it that it is opening Volcano Bay a little early. So I love to hear that too.
Krakatoa. The Krakatoa. I try not to crack on my toes, but sometimes on the treadmill it happens. Okay. Next question. That's a bad joke.
Yeah, that was really bad. Yeah.
It's Jessica's question. When you're a runner, you got to be careful of cracking your toes.
Oh my
Okay,
god.
Jessica says Skyliner food question. Dude, this is right up my alley. Skyliner, love it. Food, love it. Questions, that's why we're here. 3 words. Boom. Got it. It's on the show. We're staying at a Skyliner resort, but notice she doesn't say which one because she doesn't want us like interrupting her vacation, apparently. And we have a resort day, so no park ticket. What are some good options on the Skyliner route for breakfast, lunch, and dinner? I got your breakfast covered. And again, I've talked about this on the show. I can't remember what it's called. It's at Primo Piatto. It's this sandwich that's got
Madame.
What it's called, the Madame Croque or something, right?
Croque Madame. Croque Madame. Yes.
Madame. That just sounds like, who wants to eat something called croque? It's like croque. I mean, I know it's French, but I'm from Missouri. It's whatever. Well, so I can't remember. Like, what did it have on top? It had like an egg on the outside of it. Like, like a croissant with all kinds of goodness, like meat.
And it has like a white sauce, the bechamel sauce. Yeah.
Scott did show that to me. I was like, it's so good. I would eat one of those every day of my life, and I would live for another 6 days, probably. That'd be it, and I would be cracking my toes no more. Yeah, but that's where I go for breakfast. That is really, really good. Now you also have things like Topolino Terrace for breakfast up on top of the Riviera. That'd be kind of fun. But Ricky, Skyliner dinner or meal crawl. What are we doing?
Well, I mean, it's not exactly one of the resorts on the Skyliner, but it's very easy to walk to. So I'm going to say take the Skyliner to the Epcot International Gateway and then walk over to Ale and Compass and get the delicious breakfast that they have at Ale and Compass. I'm talking to you, my chocolate waffles. So that's going to be my suggestion for that. And then I would say go to Primo Piatto for the other ham and cheese sandwich, which is not the croque madame, it's the croque monsieur. So get that because their truffle fries are fantastic.
No, so they're better than fantastic. You're underselling them with the
yeah, I am. I'm completely underselling them. They're really, really phenomenal. And then, it depends on what you want to do. At this point, you can, I don't think Sebastian's Bistro is not open at Caribbean Beach, so you can't do that, but maybe head over to, the Pop Century, to the food court there and grab something there. I do think they have some pretty good stuff there at Pop Century. So that could be an option too. I did like your Topolino Terrace idea, maybe for dinner for that one, maybe.
And I consider the Epcot Air Resorts now Skyliner Resorts, right?
Absolutely.
Because you get off the International Gateway and it's a quick walk, and especially in the evening, it's beautiful. Like, it's a great walk.
100%. Like, I know people don't consider them to be, exactly Skyliner Resorts because they're not on the Skyliner, but it really is such a quick walk to get over to the beach club, the yacht club, the boardwalk. So you definitely could consider that. You could consider Beaches and Cream maybe for dinner as an option too, since that's right there. I think that's it because Cape May's not open.
Sure, you got Trattoria Al Forno.
Oh yeah, Trattoria. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's.
Why you gotta call me out on my pronunciations all day?
We like it. We like
exactly.
It.
So
maybe if you didn't call me out on Twitter, I wouldn't have to call you out here in public.
Follow your logic. I'm the weekend. I'm in a maze. I'm like, I'm in a maze. Anyway, so
yeah.
Pam, is there anything else? I mean, like hidden gems on the Skyliner that you shouldn't miss? I like the resort day and just kind of like going around and enjoying your meals.
Literally Topolino's was one of our favorite meals that we had one of the last times we were there. It is by far one of the most awesome breakfast offerings available right now in Walt Disney World. And the fact that you get to see the characters as well, I think is a huge plus. So that would be my choice, I think.
All right. Have fun. Next up is Francesca. She's from Long Island, New York. She says, hey, Mike, Pam, and Ricky, thanks so much for keeping the Disney magic alive for those of us who have been unable to visit this past year. We're thinking about booking a trip for 2021, but we have a new puppy and would prefer not to leave her behind. I remember some resorts had a pilot program that allowed dogs. Is that still active during COVID? Which resorts are currently offering, if any? Also, has anyone traveled by plane with a dog? Would love to hear any insights or recommendations you have. Appreciate your help, Francesca. First of all, I got to tell you a quick Riley story, right? Riley's not my dog, but Riley likes me better than anybody, right? She's Paige's dog, and she lives most of the time out at Mizzou. But Paige, she's a GA with the Mizzou basketball team, so they travel. They went to Auburn this past weekend, so we had Riley for about 48 hours. And so, we worked this out so we didn't have to drive to Columbia. It's 2 hours away, so forth. Her roommate was in St. Louis, so her roommate dropped her off on Friday, picked her up on Sunday. Long story. She didn't want to go back on Sunday night with Sarah back to Paige's apartment. So she got back, and Paige sent me this video. She's like, Riley would not look at her. Riley was mad because she had to leave our house. Like, she was just pouting. Yes, that dog loves it here. And you know what? Riley's the best dog in the world. Sits in my lap constantly. She's a big golden doodle. She's probably about 50 pounds. But I'm not taking that dog on a plane, dude. That's like taking a horse. You know what I'm saying? No, like that dog, she lives like the charmed life in St. Louis and in Columbia, dude. That dog does not need a vacation. Her life is 10 times better than mine on a normal day. I mean, nobody's giving me milk bones. You know what I'm saying? Just because you look cute. Like, nobody throws a ding dong in my mouth, just because I'm sitting there looking all cute. So anyway, I've never flown with a dog. I've never traveled, but I believe you can still take your dog to select resorts. Ricky, you look like you're looking something up. I think I see the reflection of Google.
Yeah, you can see my mind whirring. So you can still take your pet to Walt Disney World. I haven't heard anything that you can't. Matter of fact, I actually know we had a blog article on the Mouse for Less about somebody who did just that recently. So you can go check that out to kind of see what her experience was about. But right now, the resorts that are open that are allowing pets are Disney's Art of Animation Resort, Disney's Yacht Club Resort, and the cabins at Fort Wilderness. So the cabins are where the person stayed in the blog article. It is $50 per night for the pet at both Art of Animation and the cabins.
You really gotta love your dog. I'm just saying.
I will. Yes, it is $75 per night at the Yacht Club. Now, you also asked the question of if somebody has ever traveled with their dog. I have absolutely traveled with my dog. So let me give you some advice.
Did your dog have to wear a mask?
She did not. Daisy, the mask wouldn't have fit on her face anyway with her little smile. Yeah, exactly. I have obviously driven with her in the car. She does great in the car. So, we often do the long road trips that way. And she just kind of sits out and chills in my lap or Brian's lap, whatever.
Did she fly? First class or coach?
She flew with us when we went back to St. Louis over the holidays. I would like to specify, by the way, this was not my idea to fly with the dog. This was Brian's idea. And I was like, if you want to do this, then we can do it. So we absolutely took her on Southwest. We got the little pet carrier that Southwest sells. And I will tell you, and this will make everybody sick, it costs more for me to bring her on the plane than it did for Brian and I to fly together.
Honestly, that's how it should be, because I'm not like wanting to sit next to a dog. I like dogs, but I'm saying I don't want to sit next to a dog, so you got to make it hurt a little bit.
The thing was that
I should have said that.
Yeah, exactly. Way to go, Mike.
I like dogs.
We did take precautions in the sense of making sure that she would not be a yappy little thing while we were on the plane. I did drug my dog. So
now that he knows Ricky would be our
exactly.
Okay.
I went to the vet and I got night pills, and I did give her night pills so that she would be a little calmer during the plane ride. I would very much suggest, especially with a puppy, that if you don't know how they're going to react on a plane, because it's a totally different environment than they've ever been in, get the night pills, and that would be my biggest suggestion for you. So if you have any other questions about traveling with a dog, feel free to message me and I will be happy to answer them, because I have done it before and it was very easy. And half the time, nobody knew she was there. So, I mean, that was a good thing. So
there you go. When I first got back into flying, when I was a little bit nervous, I used to take night pills, but I called them margaritas at the gate. So I'm just saying, same thing. I was ready to go.
Same difference. Yeah, exactly.
But I mean, Pam, it's a responsibility, right? I mean, it's kind of when you take your pet to Walt Disney World, you got to think of the other guests, right? Because some people don't have, pets. Most people don't. But I mean, there are certain restrictions as far as where the the dog can go relieve itself. You got to clean it up. You got to check on, a certain schedule. So Pam, any thoughts on making this work if you need to do that?
I was just going to say, with a puppy, one of the things that's going to be challenging is that Disney has fairly strict rules, as well they should, about this, that if your dog is being a nuisance and they consider that barking in the hotel, that they will call you, they will find you and call you and make you come back to spend time with the dog. So especially with the puppy, I don't know, when we've had puppies in the past, they've been very needy for a while. They didn't like being left alone, especially in a place that they weren't familiar with. That's something to really think about in that space. And you may be better off just finding someone to come to your house and spend time with the puppy there in an environment where the dog's familiar with. I think that makes it easy. But it is going to be pricey to take them on the plane too. You do, as Ricky mentioned, have to buy an approved carrier, and they aren't inexpensive. And the tickets can be pricey depending on, what's that. And not only that, there's not room for every seat to have a pet there. There are a very limited number of pets that can travel in the cabin per each flight. So it's not just like if you're flying, it's guaranteed that you can take the pet along. Because I've never seen more than a few pets per flight.
I think in Southwest they only allowed 6.
Yeah.
So we called.
If there were 6 dogs on my flight, I'd be fired up. That's crazy.
We called ahead of time to book her ticket. That was another thing that we did. So yes, we did make sure that we called ahead of time for that. And to kind of echo back to what Pam was saying about the dog being a nuisance, I also did buy, now granted, this was at my in-laws, so I just had it shipped to my in-laws' house, but I mean, you could probably have it shipped to Disney too. I did buy a week crate, Daisy, so I did buy a crate and had that shipped. So that might be something, you can get a cheap crate off of Amazon and have it delivered to Disney. And that was something that we did as well. That way, you don't have issues with piddle puddles and stuff like that too.
Oh God, we're done. Okay, I feel like Debbie's back on the show now. Remember Deb, like she loved her fur babies, those little chihuahuas.
I know way more about having a dog now at this point than So I've done a lot of things for my dog that I never thought I would do, but I love that stupid dog. She's like the best thing in the world. So
that was a deep cut. If you've been with us for a long time,
yes.
If you know, you know.
If you know, you know.
Oh my gosh, I haven't thought of that in 9 years.
Yeah, right.
Okay, so we have a question here. This one's for Pam. I think it's a great question, though. It's from our friend Spencer, one of my guests over at the Magic for Less. Says, hey, it's Spencer from North Carolina. He's been on the show twice with Trip Reports. He's a middle school assistant principal, and he's also a fan of Tyler Hansborough, who played at North Carolina, basketball player out of Poplar Bluff, Missouri, where some of my family's from. Anyway, here's his question. He says, I turned 50 in August. A lot of us are getting there too. When life allows for fun again and COVID goes away, even if it's not until 2022, he wants to take a special trip with his boyfriend. I've never done any of the following and will invest up to 8 to 10 days for this trip. Which should I choose? So now he's looking for kind of like a blowout trip, right? He's been waiting. He's been working hard in COVID, special trip. So he's given me 6 options, Pam. So if you had to take like a blowout, very special trip, not your run-of-the-mill trip, which one of these would you pick? 1, a Disney cruise. 2, an Adventures by Disney escape. So one of the escapes. Aulani, Disneyland, an Aulani/Disneyland combo, which will require less time at each than a focused trip to either one. So just a split Aulani Disneyland on the way out. Or a Walt Disney World combined with either Vero Beach or Universal. He says he's gone to Walt Disney World many times, but his boyfriend hasn't gone since he was a kid and never with him. He's not done any of these things, and he wants to create special memories. Remember to factor in that he's also a DVC owner and will be traveling from North Carolina. Thanks for your help. Thoughts? Spencer. So man, he's got some good for the one thing I would throw, and I didn't email back because I knew we'd talk about this. I would throw out Walt Disney World because you want a new experience.
Agreed.
So I would start there, Pam, but where would you go from there?
So I'm really leaning towards one of the Adventures by Disney escapes, just because I will say without fail, the Adventures by Disney vacations are the vacations that when I look back on great vacations, and I'll be honest, I've had some fantastic vacations in my life. I mean, this is not just my job, it's my passion to travel. Those rank up there as some of my absolute favorites. They're just a different way of experiencing these destinations. And could even be a destination that you're familiar with. Adventures by Disney does it in a way that is really hard to describe. It's not just going and checking things off a list, which is what so much of travel, especially when people travel abroad, they're like, I'm going to Paris. I must see these 25 different, places that everyone says you have to see. And I have 2 days there. Well, you don't have 2 days to experience.
Kind of sounds like The Amazing Race to me.
Right. That's exactly what it's like. You don't have time to experience the essence of Paris by checking things off a list. You want to go someplace to experience it. And that is what Adventures by Disney is all about. They're not just checking things off of a list. They're taking you to these locations. You're eating the food. You're interacting with the people. You have guides that help make that meaningful. And they are beyond my favorite vacation. So I honestly would definitely choose Adventures by Disney all day long.
Yeah, I would say, okay, so if you're trying to kind of put your head around like why you might pick something, Adventures by Disney is going to give you first class accommodations. But on top of that, you're not going to be on your own as far as, coming up with these very unique and, basically you feel like a VIP for the entire time you're under that Adventures by Disney umbrella. You're with your guides. That's going to be something that's very special. It's going to feel very VIP the entire time, even before the trip. Till you get home, it's going to feel like you're traveling like a rock star, basically, with Adventures by Disney. Now, Disney Cruise Line, you get some of that, but the thing is, even with Alani too, I go Adventures by Disney, Disney Cruise, and Alani, like 1, 2, 3 is what I would pick, because Disney Cruise, you can go some exotic places and it's more relaxing, right? But you're more on your own. Like when you go into you can do like organized, port adventures, but it's not as like you're going to have this very unique VIP access as an Adventures by Disney getaway. So, but I mean, there's something to be said for seeing the ocean too, right? I mean, we've all been stuck at home. It'd be beautiful, sea breezes, Castaway Cay with some, itineraries. Maybe you go somewhere more exotic. In Alani, of course, you're in Hawaii, like you're in paradise, but you're totally that could be a very, very chill, laid back, not experiencing a lot, just kind of relaxing at the resort, going out to the, infinity pool, looking at the ocean. So I would say it kind of depends on like what you're looking for. You're looking for very unique experiences, Adventures by Disney. You want to feel like a rock star, Adventures by Disney. Want to be more on your own and just kind of chill out and just take it as it goes, Cruise Line, Alani. So Ricky, anything else?
Yeah, I think I would also consider Adventures by Disney. And now that he mentioned it, I have a big birthday coming up in a couple of years. So maybe I need to start.
You're going to be 52?
That's not that far. Sucker, I'm still younger than you. But, scarily enough, Brian's going to be 40 this year. So I'm
crazy.
I know.
Adventures by Disney, Ricky.
Yeah. So anyway, now that he mentioned Adventures by Disney, I may need to figure out how to finance that one together. But I will say I do like the idea of doing, especially if he's never been there, Disneyland / Alani, like that kind of mix. I think that would work out pretty well as far as like a really cool vacation too. And of course, Disney Cruise Line. So I think I would switch it. I would do Adventures by Disney first, then Disneyland, Alani, and then Cruise. But again, I don't think you're choosing wrong. Let's put it that way. I think whatever vacation you end up choosing, it's going to be amazing because it's
right.
So yeah.
And to all of our educators, you guys deserve it. Gals, everybody deserves it, because I know it's been it's been a year now. Like you teachers have been in their classrooms for, in a couple of weeks, so it'll be a year since they've been in their rooms, and also students for hanging in there with all this. It's been kind of crazy. All right, got an education question, a quick one real quick from our friend Lauren, one of my great guests over at the Magic for Less. She's down in Dallas. Hey, Mike and the ladies, hope y'all had a wonderful, safe Christmas and New Year. This one's only from 5 days ago, but she's making sure. I was like, how old is this email? But it's not. It's only 5 days ago. I hope you did too. My question is about an upcoming trip that Mike has booked for myself, husband, oldest nephew, AJ, and my best friend. We're spending a week at Yacht Club in September. Oh,
nice.
For this trip, we're pulling my nephew out of school for a week. We will be in Epcot for one full day and park hop in the evening, at least one additional day. I was hoping to put together a little social studies exhibit project presentation my nephew can show his teacher and classmates once he comes back. Remember, he's 8 years old. I know some of the fun stops are still some of the Epcot. I guess that'd be the fun stops. I guess you're talking about the Epcot or the
Kit Kat.
Kit Kat. But with a large majority of the international cast members not working, I'm not sure how relevant or exciting that'll be for him. Maybe a photo collage with a brief explanation of the history of the building, architecture for each country. What do you all think would be an impressive project for my nephew to show his teacher once he got back so he can see what he learned in Epcot? Thanks, Lauren. Pam, what'd you do? Like, if you had to come up with something educational for a day and a half in Epcot for this 8-year-old, elementary age kid, what'd you do?
I think I would do something on the foods of Epcot.
I was thinking the same thing.
Yeah, because I just think really that is part of it. When you go to experience a different culture, I mean, like part of our culture is certainly the foods that we eat. And we find it, especially here in America, there are so many different things that you find even within America that are native to that sort of location or that culture. And it's certainly true of different countries. And maybe just try to pick some of the, I know it's challenging maybe to hit every country, but maybe you can get a little snack or something to eat or drink. There's also food you can buy. So prepackaged food. When I think about, in Japan, there's a whole section of that, but there are other countries that have definitely things that are more traditional to that country. I think that would make a great project. And it's something that would keep kids' attention that are that age, I think that would be great. Even if I've heard of people doing like a candy from each country or something like that, you could get really creative with that. And I would love to see that.
Yeah. Ricky, anything else you're thinking of?
No, that was exactly what I was going to say. I was going to say maybe go and I was going to say small stack from like each of the little shops that they have inside of World Showcase and grab one of those, try one of those. And then you could write a report or, talk to your teacher about, hey, these are the kind of unique things. And I know, he's 8, so he may not be super into trying totally new things, but the good thing is like he doesn't have to get the shrimp chips in Japan. He can try something that maybe appeals to him a little more. So it doesn't have to be out there. He
may be the perfect age to try something.
Maybe the perfect age to try shrimp chips. So I don't want to try shrimp chips. I'm just saying, and I'm in my 30s. So yeah.
But here's what I'd say: don't write the report. That's so 1982. Like you have a cell phone on you, right? I mean, take little video clips and make a montage of videos. Because, get the reaction of trying this, new food and explain. You can find somebody, because if somebody's working there, even though they're not international program, more than likely they're going to have a little bit of knowledge, because if you're working in that store, that's kind of just what you want to do. You want to help your guests. And so maybe you could just give, maybe they don't know it, but I mean, you got Google right there on your phone, right? Find the name of the thing, look it up, and just, explain it, in 2 or 3 sentences. Hey, this is this candy from Germany. They traditionally eat it at Thanksgiving. Well, they don't have Thanksgiving, Christmas. I don't know. Then they hang it on the tree. I don't know. Whatever. You take a little, do 30 seconds in each country, and you have a little 5-minute video to share with your class. Yeah. You can email it, and present it to your class like while you're still on vacation.
I love that idea of doing like a little montage video. You can put it together so easily on your phone, and that's a great idea.
You could do a TikTok. You could do the dances of World Showcase.
Oh my gosh. No.
Just saying. All right. That's going to do it for today's show. If you have questions, please send those into mike@beourguestpodcast.com. We love answering them here on the show. We always have fun. It's kind of, we don't know what we're going to talk about. We talk about education. We talk about Adventures by Disney, some Milani, Skyliner. Oh, God, I love this stuff. All right. Don't forget as well, today's show always brought to you by the Magic for Less Travel. You got to get out, right? We've been looking at these same 4 walls for a year. This is the time. I'm telling you, good snowstorm and some cold weather. And I'm telling you what, it's going to be cold this week. It's time to just, even if you're not leaving the house this week, plan that trip. It'll get you mentally just in a better place. Drop by the Magic for Less. Check out the resort guides. Check out the great offers. You get some free tickets on some packages. If you're staying at a deluxe resort, you can actually get up to 30% off that room, which is a huge discount. I mean, this might be the time, maybe 2021 is the time you stay at the Grand Floridian for the first time. You've looked at it and said, oh, that hotel with the red roof and the big white walls, it's so beautiful. I could never stay there. They only let me stay at Pop. That was my story. But I stayed at the Grand Floridian once, and hey, they didn't kick me out. Stay stay there, dude. It's a great time. Good discounts. Wherever you want to stay, we're going to help you out. So check them out today over at themagicforless.com. Also, please use our Amazon affiliate link, beourguestpodcast.com/Amazon, free way to support the show. And thank you to our patrons. You guys are picking up the show. I appreciate it so very much. If you'd like some extra content in your week, every Thursday, Mike in the Midwest, crazy stories, talking about how I started BBS when I was 9 and how it became a podcast when I was in my 30s. It's crazy. It's a long story, but some people are liking it, I think. I don't know. We talk about fun stuff over there. So just check that over at patreon.com/beourguestpodcast. Again, this Sunday night, no live call-in show, but on Friday, I'm going to talk about how we are going to start something new with the live call-in shows every Sunday night on February 21st. So come back for that. And of course, on Friday is this romantic, right? We are the romance experts when it comes to Walt Disney World romance, and we are going to judge. That's right. We are going to judge harshly and kindly, both in the same show, your romantic situations. That's how it's going to go. That kind of sounded bad, but we're going to go with it. All right. We are going to get out of here. So until we get together on Friday, for Pam and Ricky, this is Mike wishing you a great Wednesday. Time to get back to work, and we'll see you real soon.
What? Are we going to judge other people? Will we be able to say you are not romantic?
Not romantic.
Like our television always makes this like horrible sound, like when you're like trying to, if you pick like the wrong thing, if you're going from Netflix from the regular, it just makes us like, oh, and we always are like, it makes you feel like really bad about yourself, like wrong. Like, yes, I know. So this is how I feel. I want that sound effect though. That would be good.
I want that. I don't even know what it's called, but it's that thing goes doo-doo-doo-doo, like it's an air horn. What's it? You know what I'm saying? Like they use it for like obnoxious commercials. Doo-doo-doo-doo. It's like an air horn. I'll find it. But like, what do you call that? I don't
know.
Air horn.
No, I don't.
See if I can find it. Hang on. Oh, I think this might be it. Hang on. That's it. Yeah.
That is very different than what you just sang, by the way.
Well, I didn't sing it. That was it.
I mean, you know. You did da 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 da. Like that's not
like an
Oh my God. I feel like this is going to become like a Vanilla Ice thing. He's going to say, this is how mine's different from Under Pressure.
This is why I don't have a soundboard, because that is so annoying and I would hate it as a listener. That's
but you would do it all. But if you had it, you would do it all the time. It will be like that Star Wars thing when we had Darth Vader do it.
Yeah, I had a soundboard and I'm like, you know what? I would hate this. So I just deleted it. I'm like, no, I can't because I don't have any self-control.
No, you don't.
Your impulse control is low.
It is.
Yes, we know.
It is. Every time I go out to eat, I learn that.
Yeah, no kidding.
Let's see.
This should be part of the Patreon show.
Yeah, no kidding.
Wait, hang on. Why is this?
Why are we doing anything? I don't know. I lost my dog a long time ago, and I'm pretty sure she's downstairs causing trouble. So,
hang on. You cannot delete while you are live. I just want to play this one. Show. That's my show. Oh well, who cares? I was trying to get the show as this romantic lower third. Okay, here we go. And pull those up. Okay, I'll pull that up in a second. Welcome to episode 1849 of the Be Our Guest Walt Disney World Trip Planning Podcast. I'm your host, Mike Rallman from BeOurGuestPodcast.com and one of the senior agents over at the Magic for Less Travel. Happy Friday to you and welcome to the most romantic weekend of the year. That's right. Sunday night is Valentine's Day here in the States and I guess all around the world. I haven't really researched that, but I'm sure our friends over in the UK and we have friends in Singapore, down in Australia. Hey, if it's not, we all love each other. That's what we're going to do. We're talking love. We're talking romantic situations down at Walt Disney World. We're going to, ask the question, is a pretzel and beer in Germany, is that romantic with your significant? Is it? I mean, or maybe not, because like beer makes you burp and pretzels dehydrate? I don't know, but that's what we're doing today. And we have a lot of situations that have been offered up from our listeners. And we're going to sit there, kind of the judge and jury today, and talk about that as we've done over Valentine's weekend for about the last 5 or 6 years. It's a Be Our Guest podcast tradition.
It is. We have some weird traditions on this show.
We have lots of weird traditions, but that's what makes us special. That's what everybody tells us.
We're special, all right.
That's right. So we are going to have a good time, talking about Walt Disney World in a slightly fun way to celebrate the Valentine's holiday. And remember, if you're listening Thursday night as the show comes out, maybe you're listening on Friday morning, still got time to order those flowers if you have to. I mean, you're going to pay a ton, right?
Oh, yeah.
Right now, those flowers a few days ago were like $17 for a dozen. They're like $100. I don't even know in 2021. Who knows? They're probably $200 a dozen at this point because
I'm like, what are you buying for $17 a dozen?
No,
Mike is buying like the grocery store special. Gas station
we used to have this place where I used to live in Florissant. Now we live out in St. Charles now, but we used to live in Florissant. There's a place called Flower-Rama on the corner.
Flower-Rama closed a long time ago, Mikey, and I know that.
Let me tell my story.
I'm sorry.
It was across the street from the White Castle.
Yes, it was.
Okay, and so it always kind of smelled like flowery, like onions all the time when you were in there. But like they had a sign by the road, and it was like the major road, Lindbergh Boulevard. And the thing was, like, it would say roses all year long. The sign said roses, and it would be like $9.99 a dozen all year.
Yep.
And then you would cruise by like the week before Valentine's Day, roses, $59.99.
Wrong. It's true. It's absolutely true. Yes. Yes.
You're fleecing me. Like, I mean, come on now. They're the same roses. They're not special, but yeah, it's supply and demand. It's democracy. It's capitalism. So what do you guys say? Anyway, so we're going to have a good time talking romance here on the show. So the romantic herself, we have Ricky from the mouseforless.com, which I'm sure is painted red and pink and all kinds of Cupid little logos, right? This weekend, I hope. No?
Yeah, no.
Probably not. No.
Sorry.
Can't do it. Down the budget.
I'm not. Yeah, the budget doesn't call for that. Sorry, Mike. No. That's okay. But interesting story about the Flower-Rama, by the way. Going back to that, back when I was in college, I was in a photography class. I had to do some like photojournalistic-y thing where I had to do something where I had to like photograph somebody that I didn't know or something like that. I don't exactly remember, but I chose to photograph the people in the Flower-Rama. So that was my project when I was in college. Yeah, it was I don't really know what the point was of photographing someone you didn't know, but anyway, that was my project in college. It was weird.
Oh, where'd you go to school?
Southern Illinois University, Edwardsville.
Okay,
yeah.
Just saying.
Yeah.
All right. Interesting side story. Makes me a little nervous. Kind of like with the long lens, like you're there like a spy.
Yeah. No, I they knew I was there, so it wasn't like it was creepy or anything. But yeah, it was...
I'd have totally called the cops on you. I'm just I'd totally got you arrested. Anyway, let's talk to Pam. Pam's here. She's co-owner of the Magic for Less Travel at Pennsylvania Way. Pam, any big plans for the Valentine's weekend here in 21? Things are so up in the air. Like you can't even hardly like dinner and a movie, dude. No, that'll kill you. Like, I mean, you can't do anything.
My plans always involve travel if possible. So anyways, yes, I hope to be doing some traveling and some, I don't know what else. I'll just say like, that's always a gift that works for me. Like Steve sort of has my number on this one.
Yeah.
Like he's kind of has me figured out. So if it's not actually traveling, it's the promise of travel, the gift of travel to someone.
He's a smart man.
I know, right?
Yeah.
So anyways, he's a big subscriber to the Happy Wife, Happy Life kind of thing. So
that's so
smart
true.
Yeah, I know. Most smart men are. So.
Yeah.
All right. So I'm pulling some of these situations from our Patreon group over on Discord. So they are giving us some. And also Tanya she lives down in Tennessee, one of our big fans. Love Tanya. She supported a lot of the stuff we've done. She went to SIUC, so down in Carbondale. So you're like,
she went to Carbondale.
Yeah, you're like in the same system there.
Got it. That is kind of cool though. Yeah. No, you don't know there's not a lot of people who went to SIU. So yeah. I don't know.
I used to drive through Carbondale. That's the first time I ever saw Menards from 57 there. All right. Anyway, totally off topic. We're talking Menards and Flower-Rama. This is
we have to do a college show. So.
Yeah, we should. Okay, here we go. Yeah, we'll talk because I did the college tour of St. Louis. I did a lot of them with like extra, like high school classes and stuff. I've been to almost every college in St. Louis. All right, next. Okay, first one. We're gonna go through these kind of quickly. Trisha over in our Patreon group. holding hands while eating a Ronto wrap under the stars, or anything involving Star Wars. Is this romantic, Ricky, and why or why not?
I'm sorry. For me, not so romantic. Given the fact that I'm a huge Star Wars fan, it's not a super romantic thing for me. I apologize. I do know that like when you see the Millennium Falcon all lit up and aglow, and
harder.
That is nice right there. But I mean, for me, not romantic. For other people, for Star Wars fans, probably romantic, but not for this girl.
Okay, so here I'm going to throw in suggestions of how you could take a marginally romantic situation and make it more romantic. Okay, so I'm kind of like a 7 out of 10 on this one on the romance scale, but here's the deal. You pull out your iPhone, you pull up Apple Music, and you play Across the Stars, which is the like I think it's from like when Anakin and Padme get married like secretly. It's like it's a very beautiful like song. If you're a Star Wars fan, you know it. You put that on the table, boom, 10. It's romantic. You're looking at the Millennium Falcon. You got to say like, I love you, I know, but it's got to be reversed, like ironically. Like, I love this Ronto rap. And the other person goes, I know. So Pam, what else? What about the Ronto rap under the stars in Galaxy's Edge?
I absolutely think it's romantic. If it's in the evening, I think that there's just something about Galaxy's Edge that to me feels very romantic. I don't know why, but maybe it's just my age. Maybe it's the fact that I've loved Star Wars all my life, but like, I think I was sort of in love with the Millennium Falcon at night. I'm just going to say, like, when you saw it for the first time, weren't you like, oh my gosh, she's so pretty. And
I just wanted to hug it. I just wanted to hug it.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So gazing at her when she's all lit up and there's lights of many different colors. I mean, she's really at her best and she's going to be looking great. So yeah, absolutely. I give it yes, romantic.
Absolutely. And we have another Saluki in the house, Pam, in the live chat. I mean, apparently we have all of SIUC's alumni in our chat.
Hey, that's awesome. I mean, like I said, nobody went to SIUE, but a lot of people went to SIUC apparently. So good for them.
Galaxy's Edge, Ronto Rap and Galaxy's Edge getting a lot of love in the live chat. So there you go. All right. Alfred has one. Having dinner at Be Our Guest, sitting in the West Wing, and then walking through the castle holding hands. Alfred, you are Casanova. Like, do we even have to discuss this one? Like, that is probably one of the most romantic things you can do at Walt Disney World.
Yeah, agreed. I mean, the West Wing is kind of the scary wing, but it's dark and it's sets the mood a little bit, I guess. I don't know. Yeah, I'm romantic. Heck yeah.
But if it's scary, that gives you the opportunity to do the old.
That's true. That's true.
My shoulder, and then you're like, whoa, pull them close.
That's a good point. Yeah, I like that.
And then you said, look at that rose. Isn't there rose in the West Wing?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Really? All right, here, I love this one, Pam. It's from James Blackmore. He's over in the UK. I've been using the same Valentine's card for the wife for the last 20 years. I get it down from the loft, cross out and change the year, and hey, presto. Some think that I'm just being tight, but I think it's romantic that I'm still using the original card, right? I say, not only is this genius, but absolutely. But Pam, what are your thoughts on this?
No, I totally think it's romantic because first of all, it's stories like those, it's traditions that I think make your time together fantastic. And I will share one of mine because we were actually going on, I think, a Be Our Guest podcast cruise. So things were crazed as per usual, right before a Be Our Guest podcast cruise. And it was happening over Father's Day. It was one of the first ones over Father's Day one year, I think.
Yes, it was. Yes. Because I remember the deal with Paige and her, because, she's my stepdaughter and all that. Yeah. I remember the little drama. Yeah.
Right. So I was trying to be prepared. Okay. On top of everything else I was doing so that when I got there, I had a card for Steve. Well, this was, it was literally, I think, one of the first ones. And I did not have time to run to the store. So I went to one of those sites where you can print out a greeting card. And
you booted up Print Shop on your laptop.
It was sort of like that. It was like American Greetings had something where you could like print a card at home if you had the right size stock paper. You know what I mean? And I actually had some. So I printed one out for him. I got it. We got there. I think like Father's Day was like the weekend before or something. So I gave it to him. We were at Walt Disney World. And I'm like, I am so on the ball. Like, I'm like patting myself on the back, right? And Steve goes and he reads the card and he says to me, well, this is a very nice card. He said, but who's Larry?
I do remember this. I do remember this story.
What do you mean who's Larry? And he's like, this card is addressed to Larry.
I do remember this story.
So in my haste, I had forgotten to change the stock name from Larry to Steve.
Oh my god!
And Steve has kept the card, and at times I still send stuff to Larry.
That is great. They got to keep your husband on his
Oh my
toes, you know?
gosh. That's hysterical.
I know. Our running joke is he's always like, "Well, maybe Larry will do that for you." Like, maybe Larry will.
Maybe he will.
So please, if you're using Print Shop, please go in and delete these stock names to be alerted. Okay, Bob. Let's jump into Bob's here. It's a little bit longer. So he says, we had planned a trip to Walt Disney World with our adult son and his significant other. My brother and sister-in-law were going to meet us at Walt Disney World, and then we were going to head to Southern Florida to meet and stay with my parents. Then my wife got laid off. Suddenly, she had more free time. We contacted our travel agent and headed to Walt Disney World 3 days early. Just us, nibbling our way through Disney Springs, Epcot, and Animal Kingdom, hunting out small plates and glasses of wine in the evening. Okay, maybe starting in the afternoon. No rush, no worries, no cares. The most fun thing was Pat telling recruiters that she could not be interviewed for 2 weeks while sitting at Jock Lindsay's. That got her another glass of wine. Is this romantic? Ricky, here's the thing about this situation. And Bob, we talk all the time. I love Bob.
Yes, he's so awesome.
Absolutely. He writes for the Mouse Plus, right?
He does, yes.
So the thing is, I think this is such a 2021, 2020, like, is this romantic situation, right? I mean, it's if you saw the Super Bowl commercial, there was one where it was just raining down lemons.
Yeah.
I mean, this is exactly what this is. You take those lemons, you turn them into lemonade, and you might have one of the best times of your life. I mean, it might not be what you expected, but it's what you got, and it's what you make of it.
Absolutely. I think that's like the key behind this whole, idea is that really if you make something special, it can be romantic no matter what it is, whether you're having a hard time with something or whatever. The fact that you're doing it together and can kind of make lemonade out of it is something that I think really is a special and very romantic thing. So I say yes, this is super romantic. Yeah.
All right, let's get one from Marlessa up in New York. Your significant other, knowing of your love for Splash Mountain, puts aside his own dislike for the cold and agrees to ride Splash with you when it's 8:30 a.m., 40 degrees outside, and no one else is crazy enough to ride it. And that's what he did for her a couple of weeks ago. Pam, I mean, really, that's a big ask, right? I mean, if you like getting cold, like getting wet when it's cold at 8:30 in the morning, knowing like your socks are going to be wet dude, go to get married. Like, it doesn't get better. Like, if somebody's willing to get their socks wet at a theme park when it's 40 degrees at 8:30 in the morning, that's like, chopping off a limb.
I 100% agree. Like, a big part of falling in love with someone is their ability to put your needs ahead of theirs sometimes. So this is definitely, yes, very romantic. I would not do this. I'm just telling you this right now. I'm going to tell you, I would not, because when I get cold, I am cold for the rest of the day. I swear I hate being cold and wet. These are conditions that I would not survive in. So I think honestly, very, very romantic. So yes, I'm giving that romantic.
Yeah, absolutely. Here's the thing. Like, my wife has to say, like, I would not do it either. Like, if Pam asked me and it was 40 at 8:30 in the morning, I'd be like, no. Like, I'd say probably something else. No, like, no. I'm not getting out. And I love Splash Mountain, but like, talk to me when it's 75 and it's like 6:30 in the evening. Like, okay, right. I can deal with wet socks for like an hour and a half, but I'm not doing them for 12. But here's the thing. Like, Pam always says, okay, so now we're in the married state, right? You're no longer trying to catch me. That's her phrase she always gives me. Like, when you were trying to catch me, you would have ridden this at 6:30 in the morning in 20-degree weather. And I probably would have. She's exactly right. And I mean, it's not that I don't love her as much. I do. But I'm old. Like I can't deal with, like, I just can't deal with wet socks. That's love. That's harsh. That is true love.
Agreed.
All right, Adam's got one here in the Patreon Discord. Adam Hardbrook, he says, secretly pricing out a long weekend trip without the kids for a pre-15th wedding anniversary celebration. Looking late 21 or early 22, so waiting for the deals before I get serious. How is it just pricing? I mean, how do you bring a little more romance to this one, Ricky? What do you do?
I mean, to bring more romance to it, you book it. I mean, yeah, you don't just price it, you book it. I mean, that's kind of what happened with Brian and I. Now, I obviously don't know if this is going to happen because there are, trust me, a lot of things that have to fall in line in the right place for this to actually happen. But Brian actually last year told me that he booked a trip for us, surprising me, completely surprising me. I was in Walt Disney World at the time when he like messaged me and said, "Hey, I booked this." He booked a trip for us to go to Tokyo, like this year. And I'm like, "What? Like, really?" He's like, "Yeah, I just booked it." And I'm like, "Seriously?" So like, he just booked the hotel rooms, but still that was like something to do. So, I mean, like I said, of course, there's a lot of things that still have to like fall in line for me to be able to go to Tokyo Disneyland this year. But just the fact that he did that, I was like so surprised. The romance level went through the roof on that one. So heck yeah, surprise your wife or significant other with a trip that you've booked, and the romance factor is extremely high. So
just an aside on that, I would check to see if there's a Tokyo, Missouri, because there's like a California, Missouri, there's a Paris, Missouri. I mean, you may be going, like, you know, somewhere.
I may be going like somewhere Tokyo, you know, South Dakota. Missouri. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I'm saying you may be like in the, you know, out by Jeff City. I mean,
I could very well be. Yeah. So I should double check that. But like the fact that he just like surprisingly did that, it was floored me. So yes, that's always a good thing.
Brian's a good guy.
He is a good guy. Now, if I could actually get to Tokyo, I mean, that's the hard part, is I still have to like, things still have to fall in line for me to actually be able to get to Tokyo.
We'll get there. Okay. So Pam, okay. So Teresa Clark in our live chat is recording the show here on Facebook and YouTube. She says, speaking of cards, my husband and I bought each other the same Disney card for our wedding anniversary 3 years in a row.
Awesome.
Now, I haven't done this 3 years in a row, but this has happened over the past 14 years for Pam and I. So I bet it's happened to you two probably at some point, right? Is it happened to you, Pam?
100%. Yes. Steve and I have bought each other the same card. Yes, absolutely. This is when I, of course, had time and didn't have to print it from home.
For Larry. Yeah.
Well, you know, because like I always get Disney cards, right? I mean, obviously I love Disney and stuff. And so sometimes I'll do the Disney thing back to Pam and we'll have the same card. Ricky, has it happened to you and Brian? You bought the same card?
So that hasn't happened to me because I don't typically, I'm a terrible wife. I don't buy cards. I'm just like, yeah, I love you. But Brian did.
So he's getting you a trip to Tokyo, Missouri, and you're not even going to get him a card. Okay.
I seriously am the worst. But my birthday and our anniversary is literally 6 days apart from each other. And so this last birthday / anniversary, I opened up my birthday card first because my birthday was first and it was an anniversary card. And then I opened up the anniversary card and it was my birthday card. So he did swap the two of those. But yeah, I don't typically buy him cards because I'm a terrible wife.
He got you twice as many cards as you've gotten him.
Yeah, he definitely has gotten me twice as many cards as I. As a matter of fact, he literally like made me look really bad this Christmas because we don't usually buy each other presents. Yeah, he totally bought me a present this year and I had nothing for him. Whoops.
So I'm just saying there's a great episode of Good Luck Charlie on that exact topic of like, what do you buy? Like if you're going to buy something cheap or buy something expensive with Bob and Sandy Duncan just one of the best Good Luck Charlie episodes ever. Cause I can relate. Like, we're not buying stuff.
I felt really awful after that. Like,
you should.
Yeah.
Okay. So next one, Justin, back to the Discord. My wife, who doesn't really care that much about Disney and just humors my obsession. She gets Justin a surprise trip for February 20 to 23, Caribbean Beach, and listen to this, with ADRs, Garden Grill, Hollywood Brown Derby, and at the Boathouse. It's like she knows me or something. Pam, I mean, like 10 out of 10, like this is like a 12 out of 10.
Yeah, right. I mean, so if anyone has learned anything from this podcast episode, it is that travel, you can always do travel, and that gets you a 10 out of 10
Absolutely.
on the is this romantic scale. And the beauty of it is you can do it last minute. You don't have to go to the store. You just have to email Mike or one of our other travel agents. So, yes, it's always romantic.
It is. All right, here's one from Megan Green, and she has triplet sons, by the way. Just a little background on this one. Putting the kids to bed while your husband sneaks to the main building at All Star Music to buy milkshakes and Mickey bars, and then eating them all by yourself in peace and quiet without having to share any of it. Yes. I mean, milkshakes and Mickey bars at All Star Music, man. I mean, that is seriously, that's like all American romance, right? I mean, you're not going to find that necessarily in like a French movie or even like some Disney romantic art, like animated cartoon. To me, this screams romance, Ricky. I mean, I'm giving this one 10 out of 10. I'm sorry. This is it. This is it for me. Like, dude, when the kids like, you're not getting in my Mickey bar, back off the milkshake. You're sleeping. Like, that's perfect.
Hey, 100%. I mean, I know I don't have kids, but I know the value of when the kids are asleep and you don't have to share whatever sweet treat you're munching on. Yeah, that's always a romantic thing. Heck yes. Very romantic.
Jody in Ohio says closing down Epcot and walking around World Showcase with no one around, holding hands. Pam, I mean, we've all done this, right? I mean, it's like one of the best things ever.
Yes, for sure. There's something about, first of all, we all know that the parks are a little more romantic at night, but and one of the reasons why that's so is that the crowds are gone at that point. And I just love that. The lights, they twinkle, it's awesome. And the fact that you get to just hang out with each other, I think is always a good thing. So yes, that's absolutely romantic.
All right, next, I love this one. Sarah Crawford. Having a drink with my hubby at the Pedals pool bar while the kids swim with laundry going at the laundromat so you don't have to do it when you get home. Okay, so this is what I call, this is practical romance. This is once you become a parent. This is like romance to the highest order. You will get it once you are in charge of all these little people that are under your care. Ricky, I mean, in Pedals, I mean, it's cool.
Hey, okay, so you asked what would up the romance quotient on thing.
Yeah, suggestion. Yeah.
I have an upping the romance quotient on this one. Okay, you ready for it? Your husband doing the laundry when you get back to the room, like folding it and putting it away, and back in the laundry in the suitcases. That's.
Yeah, okay, yes, I agree. That would up it, and also "Careless Whisper" playing by the Hippy Dippy Pool. Yes, it's like an 80s song. Yeah.
You want to know what the funniest thing is that Sam and I seriously, we heard this song this weekend. We haven't heard it in years. We heard "Careless Whisper" and we just jammed out to it all weekend long. We seriously had it on repeat.
Oh my gosh, that's too funny.
Not a romantic song, by the way, but it was totally
song rock. Yeah, I mean, that'd be perfect for Pedals pool bar, kids in the pool, laundry going, Careless Whisper, drinking your hand.
Not a romantic song, but that's okay.
Is it?
No,
it's probably not. You're right. It's not a romantic song, but it's like, it sounds like it's one of those.
It does.
It sounds romantic, but actually it's not. You can't think that hard.
I'm pretty sure it's about cheating. So
it is true now that you say that, but you just ruined it.
About cheating. I looked up the lyrics this weekend. It's totally about cheating.
Okay, okay, Tina A says, how about stopping at Dawa Bar for a couple of shots of Fireball, then going to watch Festival of the Lion King? This became our new thing. Hopefully this will continue once the show reopens this summer. First of all, after you have Fireball, because I had never had Fireball, but I'd seen it like on TV, because again, I never drank till I was like 30, and I've only really had tequila and margaritas and a couple things on the cruise line, like it's samplings. So I was kind of intrigued by Fireball because like it had a slogan on it at Walmart, something like, I don't know what it said, but it was like, I just want to try it because I like cinnamon. I use Close-Up toothpaste and I like cinnamon. So I was like, oh, it's cinnamon drink. I want to try it. So Pam got me those like little bottles for my stocking at Christmas, like 2 of them, the little like one serving things. And so I tried it and it was good. But the thing is, man, this stuff is hot. So like if you stop at the Dow bar and have a fireball, you may be like assisting the guy who like spins the fire. You know what I'm saying? Like you could just go and like you might burn like the elephant section down. I don't know. So Pam, what about a little Dow bar fireball and Festival of Lion King?
I think that I need to travel with these folks. They sound like they're having a good time. So yes, I think that if that is your idea of a good time, then that's certainly romantic, right? And parts of the Lion King show are very romantic. The lights dim, and then you have that whole bird dancing, that whole section, that's very romantic, right? So yeah.
I think after a couple fireballs, like Festival of Lion King would confuse me. Like it would just make me like want to spin. I'd be like a little dizzy. I'd be like watching the Super Bowl halftime show this past weekend. I got a little nauseous for a couple minutes. I got a little dizzy when I was watching the weekend. I don't know. Okay, so Christy's got one. Ricky, this sounds like Brian. Maybe
right.
She's married to Brian too. I don't know.
I hope not.
Who knows? Maybe it's Larry.
Yeah,
my husband picking up breakfast every morning and bringing it back to the room so I have more time to finish getting ready.
Yes, 100% romantic, because anytime I can have breakfast delivered to me so I don't have to go get it is a win, because I'm not going down in my pajamas to get breakfast. I have to be fully dressed before I can go anywhere, to get any food or anything. So if he can take care of that for me, yeah, that's a big romance. Yeah.
But to step it up, you play Careless Whisper in the room.
No, not Careless Whisper. I'll tell you, it's about cheating.
Okay, the next one. Oh, everybody's hearing the saxophone again. Everybody's hearing the sax. Okay, next, Jen and Mickey Forever. That's her screen name in our Discord Patreon server. My husband takes my weenie son on all the weenie rides at Disney so I can ride the more thrilling ones with my daughter. That is love, Pam, right? Anytime your significant other like keeps you from having to get locked into the barnstormer, like God, that's love forever.
I agree. Yes. And plus you get some like quality ride time. So I think that that's awesome. We have very romantic listeners. Like all these ideas are very romantic. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Bob's back with another one. He says, going for a father-son trip with my adult son right before the pandemic continues to make my wife happy. She didn't even question me paying for 2 lightsabers. Okay, so I got to talk about this for Bob and for anybody. I listen to this podcast. It's a tech podcast, and people call in with questions and so forth. And like sometimes people will call in like, I want to put in surround sound into my living room. And they're like, oh yeah, you need to put in 7 speakers behind the couch, 17 in the ceiling, 4 subwoofers. But then he always talks about spousal approval factor, like the spousal approval factor, right? Like, okay, that would be awesome. But if you start cutting holes in your living room table, taking chunks out of the couch, and putting 7 subwoofers so that when something hits, like you just vibrate right off of your seat, like your spouse might not like it as much as you think it's going to be cool. When your spouse allows you to buy 2 lightsabers, Ricky, romance, right? Nothing says romance like a futuristic or past, weapon that you can buy.
Nothing says romance like a futuristic weapon. Yeah. Agreed. Just the fact that she didn't question the fact that you spent $400 on lightsabers, I think is a win. So good job. Good job, Pat. Way not to question the $400 spent.
That's right. Okay. So here's one from Mike Bolger. He's one of our great listeners over in the UK. He's dying to get back to Walt Disney World. We talk all the time. He's missing it. And I feel his pain because right now international travel is a mess, but we'll get there. I promise you, Mike. He says, starting with a cocktail, looking out over the water at Geyser Point, our favorite place on property. Pam, I picture Michael. I don't know what Michael looks like, but I picture him like James Bond, like sitting at Geyser Point at the bar there. Like, I don't know. What does he drink? Like something stirred, not twisted or something. I don't know. Like he's just there as like a secret agent from the UK. Just like, I'm showing all these Americans what romance is all about.
It's shaken, not stirred. Yeah, that martini is shaken, not stirred. And of course, Geyser Point's romantic. That's on my list of always romantic and always relaxing. And yes, it has to happen almost every trip. So yes, Geyser Point for sure.
All right, this one here, this is a newer one. And I don't know where I fall on this one. And it's from Jimmy down in Texas, one of our great agents over at the Magic for Less. He went with us on a podcast cruise, Jimmy and Rhonda. We have a good time with them. He's a huge Longhorns fan. So good luck on Sark getting your new coach. Simply says, getting stuck on the Skyliner, ? Where do you fall in romance there, Ricky?
I guess it depends on, how the temperature is outside. I think that, and where you're at, because there are definitely some not picturesque spots along the Skyliner, but there are some very picturesque ones there. Like if you're looking right in
your cup. Okay,
yeah, exactly. I was like,
I feel like this is a yeehaw Bob moment.
Right? Yeah, exactly. Like if you're looking over in the new section of France right there, I mean, that's super romantic. So, but if you're looking at that gravel road, that's, kind of along the way, not necessarily romantic. So it definitely, I think, depends on your view, if it's romantic or not.
But I mean, you could be like, it's like being in the back row at the movies when you're like 17, right? I mean, in the Skyliner bucket, I mean, especially in COVID times, you're going to get a little privacy.
Yes.
Yikes. First of all.
Well, we're not talking like.
No, I'm just saying,
we're not going to break any laws or anything.
That's all.
Right. Yes.
Yeah, just move on, please.
Yeah, please. Let's do
it.
Let's
move on. Yeah.
I agree. All right. Let's see here. We had another one. Oh, Jennifer from right down the road here in O'Fallon, Missouri, telling your spouse on Valentine's Day that he, in her case, or she, is going to Walt Disney World soon. So Pam, we've echoed this. Anytime you tell somebody they're going to Walt Disney World, you got it. You've won. It's over.
That counts. That counts. Yes. It's, it's always the easiest gift. So yes, always counts as romantic.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Let's see. Sean Miranda over on Twitter, sitting on the balcony of the Riv, watching the sunset with the Skyliner going by. So let me ask you this. I agree. The Riviera is so stinking romantic. Yeah. And I shouldn't have said it because I've never been there with my wife. I've been there with like Scott.
So what does that say about your romantic?
It's not quite romantic in that way, but I'm just saying, like, I mean, it's like, it's like when you see stuff. I've never been to France either, but I'm guessing that's romantic too. But it's just so cool. But so, right, the sunset balcony Riviera, boom, super romantic. Get a drink, play some Careless Whisper on the balcony, and you're set. But the Skyliner, does the Skyliner on the horizon add romance, or does that take it down a notch? Like, is the Skyliner as a horizon feature? Is it like boats are kind of romantic to watch? So what about the travel in the sky on a cable? What do you think?
Yeah, I think that the Skyliner is very romantic. It's just, there's something about it. It's a different form of transportation. It's, I like anything that's on the skyline there on the horizon. It adds some, movement to what you're seeing. And that's kind of cool. It's like watching a boat out on the water.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I agree. It's like a boat in the air. So let's go with very romantic. I lost the last one. Oh my gosh, it's from Wade. I just clicked it and I think I found it. Hang on, let's get there. Everybody was liking that post there when I talked about Ricky's how she gets me confused in the weekend, in the fun house with her answers on Wednesdays.
Thanks, Mike.
Okay. So this one I saw it anyway. It's from Wade up in Lincoln, Nebraska. It's our last one from Twitter. And he's asking, chips, guac, and margaritas at Cava del Tequila. Dude, I want to go there with Wade right now.
Are you taking Mike out on a date?
Wade just stole my heart, man. We could do this and we could go run a half marathon on Saturday, man. He just stole my heart. That's it. He knows how to talk to me. I don't know. So Ricky, where do you fall on the chips, guac, marg kind of romance scale?
Well, given that I'm not drinking the margarita, the chips and the, dip thing is definitely can be romantic. So, I think we're good there. I think we're good with the romance factor. 100%. Again, romance is what you make of it. Last year, Brian and I went to Waffle House for Valentine's Day. That was legit our dinner. Waffle House. So
some people do White Castle, right? I mean, it's a big thing. I don't know if it is this year, but yeah.
So I'm just saying, anything can be romantic with the right person. So I'm gonna go with yes.
Let me ask Pam one question before we duck out of here, just kind of in general, because La Cava in Spanish means the cave. Are caves generally romantic or no?
Ooh.
Of course, yes. Caves can be romantic for sure.
Yes.
It's good to know because Missouri is known as the cave state. So
Definitely. Yes.
I mean, it's dark. I hope it's not too dank, I guess I will say. Like, the dankness adds a little bit to the not romance factor. But, I think a cave can certainly be romantic for sure.
Yeah.
So La Cava falls into that, right?
La Cava, here's what I'm going to say. La Cava, romantic. Merrimack Caverns in Missouri, not romantic. That was Jesse James' hideout.
That was Jesse James' hideout. But Mike, I mean, you do have down at the Lake of the Ozarks, though, you do have Bridal Cave, which is where a lot of people get married down there. So
I've never really gone to the lake. I've only been there like once in my life.
It's been awesome to Bridal Cave, though, I'm gonna say. But people do get married there. That's why it's called Bridal Cave.
That makes sense.
So I mean, that can be romantic. Yeah. I think so.
All right, wait. You're only allowed to give out so much romance per year. Like Podbean will shut us down if we go over the romance meter. And we're like, we're so close right now. We just don't. We got to save some for the other shows. Like we don't want to use it all up. So we are going to get out of here and let you have an awesome weekend with your significant other. Even if you're by yourself, just love. Do something you love. If you like playing the old Nintendo Classic, which I do, play that. If you want to do a podcast, if that makes you happy, do that. But just
maybe don't listen to Careless Whisper.
Guess what?
Anyone will be able to listen.
You've already heard it by this point of the podcast. I promise you. Guess what? It's the show.
Exactly. He's going to totally edit it in. Yes.
George Michael's estate is getting a royalty. Actually, it's not even George Michael. It's Wham. But who cares? I love that sex. So
actually, it is George Michael because again, I just looked all this up. So yes,
George Michael, was it like his first single? It might have been
his first, yes. But his Wham partner, it does have a writing credit on it. I told you, I just looked up a bunch of information about Careless Whisper this weekend.
See, it's good stuff. I'm telling you, I grew up in a skating rink. There's a couple, like skating rinks, couple skating only.
Couple skate.
In the normal skating direction. Everybody be careful. Okay. Also, real quick, Alfred reminded me, I didn't make the announcement about the live show. So this Sunday night, no live call-in show. We didn't have one last Sunday because Super Bowl. This Sunday's Valentine's. We're going to come back stronger than ever on Sunday night, February 21st. Of course, still going to be the same time, 7 o'clock Eastern, 6 o'clock Central for 1 hour. But moving forward, it's not just going to be Mike. It's going to be the Mike and Scott show. Hashtag Scotty G is going to be with us every Sunday night taking your calls. We're going to talk about the news of the week at the top of the show. So, Ricky, make sure you write it by Sunday night so we have it all on the mouseforless.com. Yes, and pictures help. I love pictures. And we'll be talking about the news of the week every Sunday night. And, of course, taking your calls, any topics you want to discuss, and those will be out on the feed on Thursday. So, welcome Scotty G to the Sunday night call-in live shows. We're going to have a good time with that. So if you want to talk to Scott about what he's an expert about, palm trees, he actually started an Instagram account. If you're really into palm trees at Disney, just search palm trees. I think it's palm trees at Disney. We'll talk about it, but it's a pretty cool little shot of all the palm trees around Walt Disney World. A lot of fun. All right. We are going to get out of here and wish you a very happy Valentine's Day. Don't forget tonight's show brought to you by the Magic for Less Travel. Check them out for your 2021 trip. Great discounts out there right now. Free tickets with some packages, great room discounts, and just you need to get out there and have fun with those you love and just go down for a solo trip. I love that too. So check them out today over at themagicforless.com. Also, please use our Amazon affiliate link, beourguestpodcast.com/Amazon. And a huge shout out to our patrons. I love you guys so much. Thanks for supporting us and keeping this going. Check out patreon.com/beourguestpodcast. Also, give us a follow on the social media. We're over there having a good time all the time at BeOurGuestPod and at BeOurGuestMike on Instagram and Twitter. And of course, subscribe to the show on Facebook and YouTube, and you'll never miss any of this nonsense when we go live because there's a lot of extra stuff that doesn't end up in the podcast shows. And you may want to miss this. You may want to tune in. It's totally up to you, but hey, give it a shot sometime. It's fun. All right. We're going to get out of here wishing you a very happy Valentine's Day. We love you guys taking the time to listen to our show. We love doing these shows for you. So for Pam and Ricky, I'm Mike, wishing you a great weekend, a safe and happy weekend. Happy Valentine's Day. And we'll see you real soon. Does Scott have a bathroom photos account? No, but that'll probably be his next step.
Oh, I did find it. Palm Trees of Disney. That's his thing.
Palm Trees of Disney.
I totally just started following it. Yep. That's it.
How many followers does he have right now?
29.
There you go.
So
Everybody follow. Alrighty. Time
Okay.
to edit.
There we go.
all right. So,
Oh my
That's-
gosh, I can't
that's
wait for
the
this one.
hysterical thing though, because like legit, we just like totally jammed out to that song this whole weekend. Like that's the fun. I haven't thought of that song in years.
But
And
it's weird how you like remember the words to the song. And actually, as you're saying, like it's a song about people cheating, I'm like singing the words to myself because of course I remember it. And I'm like, oh yeah. Huh. I wonder why like I never made that connection. I was just like, whatever.
think that we should lose this crowd somehow. It's better this way. Wade saw George Michael in concert twice.
that's fantastic, Wade. Holy cow. That's awesome.
He's all in. That's so funny. I saw Richard Marx at Six Flags one time.
But he's absolutely right. So they wrote it together, but it was his song. Yes. Yes. That's kind of what I found out. Yeah.
Stuff you learn here.
I know.
Where these are going. All right, I'm out. I gotta edit these. I'm starving.
All right. See you guys.
Have a good one. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
All right. Bye.